What's up guys, how you doing? It's Big Al here and today I'm going to be talking about Infernoble Knight, one of my favourite decks ever, to put it bluntly. Before Sword Soul was a thing, this was my go-to deck, and in Duelist Nexus they have been given a lot of good cards, and I mean a lot. The deck is ridiculously fast, explosive, consistent, puts up so many disruptions. And the way I've built the deck at the moment is a more budget-friendly version. But what I'm going to talk to you about is a few cards in the extra deck that you should be playing if you want to take it a bit more competitively. And also partly because of the fact that I don't own a couple of the cards involved at the moment. But just bear that in mind as we go into the deck profile. Anyway, let's not beat around the bush and let's talk about the list. Okay, so let's start things off with 3 copies of Infernoble Knight YGO. So on normal or special, YGO can dump a Fire Warrior or a Noble Arms from your deck to the graveyard. If it is, it can equip itself from the graveyard to a warrior monster you control, and if it's equipped, you give that monster it's equipped to protection from being destroyed by card effects, which is really good. Really nice bits of protection, and this is one of your main starters. Just bear in mind that as a starter in the deck, YGO doesn't really work by itself. It kind of needs to be paired up with an equip card in order to make the Turpin play work, because in order to special summon Turpin, you have to have an equip card out on the field. So that's for YGO. Now for the rest of the Infernoble Knights. 2 copies of Renaud, or Renaud. Not very good at French words, I do apologise. So you can special summon it as a tuner from your hand if you control a Fire Warrior, and if it is special summoned, you can target any of your Fire Warriors or equip spells that's banished in your graveyard, add it to your hand. This is incredibly good with the Battle in Boxer combo, which is a 1-card combo that just gets you everything, which I can try and explain to you guys later on in the video when we're talking about the Battle in Boxer cards. Again, it is a mandatory card to play. You can play free if you think you need a flex spot. But for the other one-offs, we've got the 1 Turpin. This card is crazy because it can extend from hand if you control an equip card. So it special summons it from hand or grave. If you special summon it from grave, though, it does get banished. Or you can just equip it as an equip card that treats the equipped monster as a tuner from your graveyard. So again, this is also a really good card to just have in your graveyard and just extend with. 1 Stolfo, this could be swapped out for another Renaud, but its level modulation is really good, and it has a nice sort of standby phase delayed effect that sort of like Gold Sarcophagus, where if you could banish it from your graveyard in the next 2 standby phases after it, can bring itself back and any of your Fire Warrior monsters from the grave or banished, which is just crazy. Especially if you get to pull it off and the game goes on that long, but you know how Yu-Gi-Oh it is, it doesn't really last long. 1 Richardetto, or Ricciarda, I don't know how to say the name, apologies again. So you can banish it from hand or grave to special summon a level 4 or lower Fire Warrior from your hand as a tuner, or hard once per turn effect. Its most commonly used effect is if it is normal or special summoned, you can target any level 4 or lower Fire Warrior in your graveyard and special summon it. However, this locks you into warrior monsters, so just bear that in mind. This is going to always be bringing back your level 4 Fire Warriors, most of the time or lower. We've got 1 Oliver. It can special summon itself from the hand by pitching an equip or a Fire Warrior as a level 1 monster. It's a tuner, so if you have the budget to play Baron in your extra deck, you can synchro using it and or any other level 1 tuner and Charles to go into a Baron, which is really good. Not to mention that Oliver can also equip itself as an equip card from the graveyard, which gives the monster it's equipped to targeting protection. Fireflint Lady is an incredible extender, can just special summon itself from the hand. It's a Fire Warrior. It can tag itself out for another warrior in your hand that you might want to just unbrick yourself with. So, incredible card to have. One of the boss monsters of the deck is Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. This is your monster effect negation in the main deck. It's still relatively difficult to get to, but with Angelica in the extra deck, you can just send it. Angelica's primary purpose isn't really to send Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, but if you are scared of things like Nib, because remember we're not playing Neo Space Connector anymore to look at your opponent's hand, it is still a very useful card to have, and it's just incredible, especially in the battle phase, because on attack declaration you can just non-targeting steal one of your opponent's monsters, equip it to it, and then replay will happen. You just swing over the monster you haven't attacked with yet. You're clearing your opponent's board with just one monster. It's really good. Now let's talk about the new additions, the battle in boxes. So we're playing 3 Uppercutter and 1 Sparer. So what's the deal with this? Now I don't have enough camera space to, well, show you essentially the entire combo, what this is about. But essentially Uppercutter can, on normal or special, search any battling boxer. So if you search Sparer, you can special summon it. You can overlay them. Bear in mind you won't have a battle phase if you do use Sparer. You can overlay them into the battling boxer King Dempsey, which can search any Fire Warrior. You can search Renault from your deck. You can detach the Sparer from the King Dempsey as a level 4 warrior to give your monsters targeting protection. And you can just extend with the Renault, add the Sparer back to hand, summon it out again because you've got battling boxes on the field, leave your level 4 on board, and then go Isolde combo with the Dempsey and the Uppercutter, sending a Phoenix Blade to summon the Richard, bring back your level 4 Uppercutter, go into Angelica, search your cards, and the board will just keep on rolling from there. It's a 1-card combo. It is incredible. I wish I was able to show you in the video, but I unfortunately don't have the video space all the time. But I implore you to try it out. It is incredible. For rotors, 3 Heritage of the Chalice lets you add any Noble Knight or Noble Arms from your deck or graveyard to their hand, and it has an additional effect where if your Noble Knight monster equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard while it's in the graveyard, you can just add Heritage of the Chalice to the hand. That can come up occasionally. Just bear in mind. Sorry, that's Noble Arms Museum. But talking of Noble Arms Museum, we're playing 3 of that. It's another 3 rotors, and it's just a custom card. So it gives all Fire Warrior monsters 500 attack, and you can pay 1200 to add a Noble Arms from your deck to your hand. And if the effect add has been activated this turn, you can just target any Noble Knight monster card in your spell and trap card zone and summon it. So this can pull forward Charles, it can pull forward any of your Noble Knight monsters that you've equipped from the graveyard. As long as you've activated that effect, it's fine. You can just pull them forward. Oh, and the kicker is, these aren't hard once per turns. So if you have multiple copies in your hand, there is no, you activate it once per copy. So just activate multiple copies of Museum, search multiple cards, summon multiple cards from the back row. It is just mental. For more rotors, yo! Is that 9 rotors so far? We're looking good. Durandal on equip. It can add any level 5 or lower Fire Warrior monster from deck to hand. It destroys itself after this. It's sent to the graveyard with the equipped monster. You can target a level 5 or lower Fire Warrior in your graveyard and special summon it. But this effect will lock you into warriors. Pretty crazy. Mandatory, broken card, Phoenix Blade, Joyeuse, and 1 Almace. Phoenix Blade is just stupid. It's the one equipped spell you're always sending off with Isolde. You're banishing cards to add it back, and this helps trigger Angelica over and over. You're just tagging it out, doing your plays with it. It's just incredible. Joyeuse, you have to play this because it can add cards from grave back to hand, as well as help you extend from hand with its second effect. And Almace is a new one. So it basically subs itself out for another equip card, a Noble Arms. So if it's equipped, you can equip an Infernoble Arms equip spell from your deck or graveyard to the card. And if it's sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster is sent there, you can basically add any of your Fire Warriors that banished during your graveyard back to your hand. So it's essentially like a secondary Renault effect, which is really good. And the one actual rotor, because, yeah. The next 12 cards are non-engine, and you can play whatever cards you want related to the format. This is just you know, not indicative of what you should be playing right now. You should probably be playing Droll and Lockbird, potentially Nibiru, Thrust, Talents, things like that. But yeah, 12 slots, really good. I believe we're on 40 or 41 cards in the main. And now let's talk about the extra deck. So, 3, Emperor Charles the Great. So you summon him by linking off a Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles that is equipped with an equip card. On summon, it equips the Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles. It becomes Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles. There's a few weird ruling caveats with this card that I'm still personally not very sure of. But essentially, it boosts itself up to 35, 4k if you've got the field spell up. And it's a soft once per turn spell or trap card or effect negate. As long as you send a equip card on your field to the graveyard, you're negating that. It's huge. It is an incredible card, and you're summoning multiple of these. It's crazy. Isolde, 2 of, mandatory. You can play 1 or 2. I don't know how I feel about 1 because I think 2 is good in the grind game. 1 Ferocious Flame Swordsman. This is really good because Contact C can be a real detriment to your deck, and all it requires is 2 monsters with different names. It's a Fire Warrior, so it doesn't hinder your plays very much in any sense. It can revive your warriors if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, and it gives a nice 500 attack boost, which, well, when paired with Noble Arms Museum and the other equip cards, your monsters get huge. Very big, very quickly. 1 link free, Raten the Heavenly General. Not quite sure about this one at the moment, but it is a link free that can that you can link up to in case you need to. It's a fairly big body. It has an interesting effect to it. 1 Charles, and this should be Baron de Fleur if you're not on a budget. But if you are on a budget, you can play a 2nd Charles just for extension and things. I'm not 100% sure on whether people will just play 2 Charles anyway, because I think this extra deck has a lot of 2 ofs. But yeah, it's just pretty good. Roland and Angelica. Angelica you can play at 1 or 2. I think I'm going to bump Angelica up to 2 because it's just a really good card. Angelica can search any, it can search Horn of Oliphant or any card that mentions Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles from your deck. Normally you're going to add Museum, which can do all of your other stuff. And it is incredible because if it's targeted for a card effect or an attack, it can just banish itself, send a Fire Warrior from deck to the grave, and then tag out into the tuner Captain Roland, which is a level 5 tuner, which just has a quick effect that lets you equip itself from the grave to anything, which will trigger your Charles and just keep letting you play and play and play. Pop your opponent's stuff. It's mad. If you hard summon Roland, you can, in the end phase, basically dump an equipped spell to search any warrior, which is really useful. 1 copy of Ignoble Knight of High Launcelin. If it's synchroed, you can just equip a Noble Arms from your deck to it. So yeah, that's really good. And at the end of the battle phase, if it destroyed a monster by battle and sent it to the graveyard, you can search any Noble Knight or Noble Arms card. So it's a really nice consistency tool, non-tuner level 5 synchro monster for you to play. These 2 are kind of flex spots, so you can swap these out for like an extra copy of Angelica, maybe Roland or something like that, or some power plays monsters. We talked about having Baron de Fleur in the extra deck is very good. But I would definitely say sub out Sacred Custonin over Artorigus, because Artorigus is just really good. It gets back all of your equipped spells, it pops back row, it's absolutely mad. And then the Battling Boxer engine wouldn't work without King Dempsey. So yeah, King Dempsey is incredible. If it's special summoned, it searches any level 4 or lower Fire Warrior or a Battling Boxing spell or trap. Quick effect. You can detach to a material from any monster you control, and then it basically gives your Battling Boxers target and protection, which is great. But yeah, guys, thank you for the deck profile. I know this one went on a little bit longer. If this deck profile gets enough interest, I will do a combo video for you guys. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.